is the only person who has been affected by that SP mentality, the only one that I know. There may be others, but I don't know. In Birmingham, for sure, I never heard it. Dawud Adib is the only one who retracted from mistakes that he made. Abu Khadeejah, Abu Hakim, those brothers, that organization, SP, they were commanded, advised, retract publicly mistakes that you made. Not once did they retract. Dawud Adib, he retracted when he said that statement about Sayyid Qutb. He wants to die like Sayyid Qutb. It was a mistake. It was brought to his attention. He retracted publicly. He said that the ulama, when they want to gauge and know a person's Salafiyah from America and the West, the ulama refer to SP. That's ghulu. Dawud Adib, he retracted in public. And I say, alhamdulillah, for Dawud Adib or any of us to be tabi'un fi sunnah is better than being an imam in a bid'ah. For you to follow people, you're not a leader, you're following. It's better to be a follower, but you're on the sunnah, than it is to be the leader in innovation. The leader in these innovative methods and ideas, jarh wa ta'deel and all of this stuff, you're confusing the people with. Another issue, ikhwani, is this, disrespecting the ulama about this. Okay, I made that statement, it was the wrong way to say it. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, it was the wrong way to say that. It was the wrong way. They're still mentioning that. After it was retracted so many times. Now, I'm telling you I retracted it so many times, and they're going to probably, Allahu A'lam, still use it. But anyway, the point that I want to make here is the Haddadis, that's their way. We respect the ulama. Now, when that statement was made about I saw something in Sheikh Rabi, not the correct wording, they ran with that in the dunya and they still run with it. Okay, but look at the double standards. Abu Khadeejah said that a Sheikh Wasiullah lied and oppressed him. And a Sheikh Wasiullah has to come back and rectify what he said. Go look at and read rawdah.org, rawdah.org. This translated thing of what Sheikh Wasiullah said in regards to those statements. Disrespect. But in their eyes, it's not disrespect. When they say things like Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, when he wrote the book, Rifqan Ahl Sunnah bi Ahl Sunnah, and that book is dalil. They're telling us you're just following him because you don't want to follow. Come on, you know the people's hearts. You don't know the people's hearts. That book is a book of dalil. And the sheikh said, 3 sheikhs, and he told where they were from. Everybody knew who he was talking about. 3 sheikhs in the forefront of this. He was talking with tafsil and with knowledge. They said, he doesn't know. That's disrespectful. Jam'i Ihya Turaf. All of those sheikhs, ulama, they don't know. One of them described, as I mentioned the other day, a Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri from Yemen. They said he was, so what? He just works. We have some malahadat on him. We got some points against him too. Malahadat? Wallahi, as I mentioned to you guys before, ikhwani, a Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri is more knowledgeable than Sheikh Ubayd al-Jabiri, and his works are much more. And when you look at the refutation of a Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri, and I don't agree with everything that he says because I'm Salafi. He's much more knowledgeable than me. I would love to be a student. I would love to be a student of a person of hadith like that. Fiqh of the hadith. But I'm not going to agree with everything he says because he's not ma'soom. He's going to take a position, I'm going to take another position. He himself doesn't agree with his Sheikh Muqbil in every affair. But if you were to look at his works, if you look at his takhrijat and his tahqiqat, if you were to look at his knowledge, it's bigger than Sheikh Ubayd al-Jabiri. But some people just follow Sheikh Ubayd al-Jabiri's position because a taqleed. So the Yemenis, the brothers who are studying Damaj, they can easily say, like SP says to us, you're just taking that position because you're just following Abdul Muhsin because you want to do what you want to do. You're just following a Sheikh Ubayd al-Jabiri because you're just doing what you want to do. No. You have to have husn al-dhan. If you don't have dalil and proof about that, don't say it. So the point here is they have a catalog of offenses where they disrespected the ulama of al-Islam. Another issue, Ikhwani, and we'll almost finish here, is that those brothers allow themselves from their decrepit, false minhaj. They can disagree with ulama and the ijtihad and the positions of ulama, but you can't disagree with the sheikhs that they follow. Before I said they have 3 sheikhs that they follow tenaciously. A Sheikh Rabi', a Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabiri, and Al-Ustad Muhammad ibn Hadi al-Madkhali, who's younger. That doesn't mean that's all they listen to. They're going to make a big deal. What about Falah Ismail? What about Muhammad al-Anjuri? We know that those people come to you. What about Hassan al-Banna? What about all of the people who come there? Abdullah al-Bukhari. What about Ahmed Bazmul? What about Ahmed al-Subay', Tariq al-Subay'? We know that you have those people, but you know what we're talking about. You look for whatever Sheikh Rabi says, and I don't follow Sheikh Rabi and everything that he says. I don't have to take his position. He says Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi is a mubtadi, and he brings his dalil with sincerity. I read those dalils, and I don't agree with sincerity. How are you going to force me to agree? And how are you going to now judge me as being a mubtadi? As Sheikh Rabi said, Abu Muslima is a hizbi, just like Ahmed al-Najmi. Where's the dalil, ya Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi, that this man Abu Usamah should be dealt with like the mubtadi'? Is the dalil because he says that these people are muqallideen, that makes you to be dealt with like a mubtadi'? Because he said they're muhqibeen, now he gets the ruling of being dealt with like a mubtadi'? That's the dalil? Because he supports Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi, meaning support in their tafsir, their ta'wil is, he doesn't see him as mubtadi'. That makes him mubtadi'? Because he doesn't see him as being a mubtadi'? Allahu Akbar. As-Salafiyya, Ikhwani, is for the individual to say, I know this man. The sheikh comes and says, this man is a mubtadi', and I know this man. I'm not going to say just because the sheikh said it, I'm going to follow him. No way in the world. As-Salafi is not like that. I don't know what happened to the minds of the Salafi people who were allowed to be affected by this dawah of SP here and in America especially in America. I don't know and I don't understand. Those young brothers over there in America, don't allow yourselves to be guided by those younger brothers who didn't study anywhere, or they didn't accomplish anything when they studied. Don't allow them to be the ones who come into the community with this fitna, with this fasad, with this folder. Abu Hassan Malik, he's been affected by that stuff for years. غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَلَهُ. These kind of people. I'm not saying this to put them down. I'm saying this so that you would know. And who disputes these issues in America? Who disputes? Our communities have to be moved forward. And my quest and my nasiha is for those people who are giving dawah, all of us, stop being the cause for the religion and our minhaj and our dawah of affecting people in a negative way. Either because of this minhaj that we understand, that's crazy and anti-sociable and it's not productive, or because of our behavior. And I don't exclude myself from that. I'm not pointing fingers. I don't exclude myself from that. أَلَمْ يَأْذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِلذِّكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ. The time has come for us to get mature and to get serious about this issue about our dawah. Now again, Ikhwani, this nasiha, and I'm going to end here, it is for the uqala from amongst you. As I told you, those people, they told the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they're not going to believe him until حتى ترقى في السماء ولن نؤمن لرقيك حتى تنزل علينا كتابا نقرأه قل سبحان ربي هل كنت إلا بشرا رسولا. We won't even believe you, Ya Muhammad, if you start going up in the ladder, you go up to the sky, we won't believe you until you bring a book down that we can read. Allah told the Nabi to say, Subhana Rabbi, glory unto Allah, my Lord. I'm just a Rasul and a human being. I can't bring all of this stuff. The ayat that you're asking for, you're going overboard. So there's some people, I told you before, the only way that they're going to change because of the taqleed. Now Allah could do whatever He wants. And Allah, He has the hearts of the servants between His two fingers. And I'm not doing like this, using that image. But the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that Allah has the hearts of the servants between His two fingers. He could change anyone who He wants to change. From Sunni to bid'ah, bid'ah to sunnah, Islam to kufr, kufr to Islam. He's a shakir and doesn't become that. He becomes opposite of that. But some of these people, the only way they're going to accept the sign and the dalil of these contradictions, they disrespected Sheikh Wasiullah Abbas. And you can't see that? You can't see that? No, they come up with excuses. The only way that they'll change is if Sheikh Rabi himself, personally, came here, went to America, he went to Lithuania, he went to Iraq, he went to Kurdistan, he went to Palestine, and he himself said, like this individual. Change and be with that individual. No, don't say that about Jam'iyyat Ihya Turab. What they did is similar to what I was doing. They're going to say, no, it's different. So this is a presentation that I hope if someone wants to deal with it, stick with the issues. Stick with the issues. You know, there's a tape that was going around in Birmingham, Ikhwani, by a brother from America. His name is Ahmed Uwais. He died a few years ago. May Allah have mercy upon him. He advised me in the tape something about if silence is golden, if something speech, gold, silver, I don't know. And he was calling me Goldie in it and using a lot of language. Wallahi, for me to pass that tape out, that tape reflects negatively on that brother before it reflects negatively on anybody else. How can you see that tape as dalil? How can you see that tape? Let's just get Goldie. You know, if Allah bless me with some money, I'm going to get me a very expensive car, inshallah, Rolls Royce or something, and I'm going to get the license plate, Goldie on it. I'm going to get that license plate, Goldie, because they make istihza with that name. Istihza. So the point is, the person who's blind, he doesn't care. The important thing is, let me get my enemy. And that's why I'm telling you, if a person has ikhlas, then he'll refute with adab. He won't call names, people out of their names. He'll refute with justice. He'll refute with the haqq. If the person doesn't have ikhlas, he won't have al-adl. He won't have al-adab. He won't be upon the haqq. His main goal and objective is the isqat of his khasam, to bring his opponent down. That's the important thing. By hook or crook. No. Respond based on dalil. Why is it that those sheikhs who get sent here from Jam'iyyat Ihya Turab, they're not deviants and hizbis, but we're deviants and hizbis? Why can a Sheikh Rabi al-Madkhali, Shafahullah, go and give a talk with Rafida, Ismaili or Kuffar, Takfiris, Sururis? Who was invited to the thing for your information? Safar al-Hawari, Salman al-Awda, Ayad al-Qarni, Awad al-Qarni, Abdul Wahhab, At-Tariri. These are people who are known. Sulaiman al-Alwan, Takfiris, Ikhwani, Sururis, Qutbis. Why is it okay for the sheikh to go and give that talk? And it's not okay for me. And this is what we're telling the people. Stick to the issues. I believe that the sheikh went to give that talk and he was within his rights in al-Islam to do what they were doing. He didn't bend the rules, and I don't believe he would bend the rules, and I even think that he would take them to the side and advise them. Okay, when we went to do that participation with those brothers, why the mujarrad, just because you went, makes you outside of a Salafiyah? That's a corrupt minhaj. That is tanaqadat. We're going to stop here, inshallah ta'ala. You young brothers, you young sisters, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn to beneficial knowledge. These people will confuse you. They're going to tell you Abu is trying to trick you. Abu is lying. Okay, lying in what? Prove it. It's okay. Prove it. Prove the lies. No, the sheikh didn't go. No, that's not your relationship with them. Prove it. Don't just make statements. That's a Salafiyah. When you're sitting there and you're reading and you're listening, you have to say, a Salafiyah is dalil. It's proofs. It's not just mere statements. He has something to say. He has something to say. So Umar radiallahu anhu, and I end with this. He was upset one time. He said, how does this ummah, كيف تختلف هذه الأمة ونبيها واحد وقبلتها واحدة? How is it and why is it that this ummah is having ikhtilaf when its Nabi is one Nabi, and the Qibla is one and the same? Abdullah ibn Abbas said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, we, the companions, were a group of people who, we read the Quran, it was revealed on us, we read it, we understood it. We know why, when, and where it was revealed, and we practice it. He said, as for these people and the people going to come after, they read the Quran, but they don't know why it was revealed. And they don't know and they don't understand it. So the people give a position based upon their ra'i, based upon their opinion. Everyone gives his opinion, and then they'll have ikhtilaf. After ikhtilaf, they'll start fighting. And that's what happened. We turned the shabab to a jarh wa ta'deel. You don't know what jarh wa ta'deel. The jarh, mufassir, is accepted and is given precedence over the ta'deel. Okay, the Shaykh Wasiullah has clearly made a jarh of those brothers. I say take the good and leave the evil and leave the wrong. But if you can get knowledge from people more qualified and competent, then do so. Let us learn the Quran. I am an ajami. It's not acceptable for me to give the khutbah in Green Lane Masjid, and then after the khutbah I can't lead the people in salat because I can't read Surah Al-Fatiha. I go to Canada and I give a khutbah in Toronto, in Troy Masjid. I give the khutbah about he's this, he's that, and the sheikh said and this, that. Then it's time for salat. I can't lead the salat because I don't know Surah Al-Fatiha. I can't read. No, all of us are ajam, everybody. No one is excluded here. I see all of you, most of you, ajamis. And even some of the Arabs. We have to learn the Quran. And I think most of the people here don't feel that they really know the Quran. So instead of engaging the people in this issue, when did the Salafis leave the Quran and turn to this stuff? As Salafiyya is paying attention to the Quran first. In the beginning of Islam, the Prophet told the companions who we pattern our religion after, "Man kataba anni ghayr al-Quran falyamhuhu." Anyone who wrote other than the Quran, erase it. Don't write the Sunnah down yet. He didn't want the Sunnah to be mixed up with the Quran. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam told the people, "Ta'allimu al-Quran, فَإِنَّهُ يَأْتِي يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ شَفِيعًا لَكُمْ." Learn the Quran. It's going to come and be an intercessor for you Yawm al-Qiyamah. How is Salafi turned away from the Quran? Al-Imam Shu'bah ibn Hajjaj, one of the great ulama of Islam and Hadith, he told his students, hey people, every time you people learn Hadith, it gets you further and further away from the Quran. Not that he was telling them don't learn the Hadith, he was telling them don't learn the Hadith at the expense of the Quran. Jarh wa ta'deel has been something that was allowed to preoccupy the people at the expense of the Quran. Salafis pay attention to the Quran. Hudhayf ibn al-Yaman from the companions, he told the people sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أن الأمانة نزلت في جذر قلوب الرجال فتعلموا القرآن ثم تعلموا القرآن ثم تعلموا السنة. During the time of the companions, the amana, al-iman, the amana came down and it came into the hearts of the companions. After the iman came, they learned the Quran and then they learned the sunnah. So the man doesn't know Surah Al-Fatiha and he's going to tell us that Al-Imam Al-Awza'i wants to make a point. It's a beneficial point. Al-Imam Al-Awza'i. I heard this example given in 3 different lessons. You learn something here and you go and you tell us to people. 3 different lessons. He has some issues in his narrations of Al-Hadith. The Hadith Al-Mursal is like this. And this is a regular class. The Hadith Al-Mursal, the Hadith Al-Mu'addal, the Hadith that is Munqati'. So Al-Imam Al-Awza'i, he fell in, Ya akhi, you telling the people about this issue of Hadith. Right now the people are not comprehending, those who are listening. Hadith Al-Mursal, most of them don't know. Hadith that's Munqati', most of them don't know. The Hadith that's Mu'addal, most of them don't know. And you don't really know that issue as well. Picked it up here and there. And now you're going to put, no, busy the people with the Quran. That was something that was disturbing. Someone's going to say, he doesn't like ilm al-hadith because he's blind. He's blind. No. You can't say Al-Imam Shu'bah didn't like ilm al-hadith. خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best of you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches it. Meaning, not the one who memorized the Quran, but the best science to learn out of all of the science, the book of Allah. Salafis are turned away from the book of Allah. We can't read the Quran after all these years in Salafiyah, and yet we look at ourselves as the vanguard of a Salafiyah, the cream of the crop. We're the clear Salafis. We're the true ones. And I can't read Surah Al-Fatiha. I can't lead the people in the Salah. When did the Nabi ever, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, pray Salat al-Jum'ah and then said to somebody, come lead the Salah? And I know that some of the scholars in the Hanbali madhab said that that's permissible, with some conditions. If someone comes, he's the hakim, and he wants to lead, you can let him lead. But when did that become the practice? Every time you give the, ya akhi, learn the Quran. We're going to stop right here. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the tawfiq and the sadad, and that He subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't make us responsible for what we have no ability to prevent, that He brings the hearts of the Salafi people together and the minds based upon the Kitab and the Sunnah, and based upon what the Salaf of this Ummah were upon and understand. And Allah is A'la and A'lam. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.